Hey everyone! Thank you for joining us for our Fabric Skills Fest series. My name is Anna. I'll be your producer for this session. I'm an event planner for Reactor, joining you from Redmond, Washington. Before we start, I do have some quick housekeeping. Please take a moment to read our Code of Conduct. We seek to provide a respectful environment for both our audience and presenters. While we absolutely encourage engagement in the chat, we ask that you please be mindful of your commentary, remain professional, and on topic. Keep an eye on that chat. We'll be dropping helpful links and checking for questions for our presenters and moderators to answer live. Our session is being recorded. It will be available to view on demand right here on the Microsoft Reactor channel. With that, I'd love to turn it over to our speakers for today. Thank you so much for joining.
Well, thank you
All
so
right,
much, Anna.
hello. Hi,
Hello.
everyone.
Good, as we always say, good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, depending on where you are. Tell us in the chat where you're coming from. I'm in South Florida, US. How about you, Shabnam?
I'm in Atlanta in US as well.
Nice. And we have a chat enabled. You have to be subscribed to the channel to participate. So make sure you're in there and you participate. And you also take advantage of the amazing moderators. We're going to introduce them in a second. So let's get started. Let me. There we are. So this is hello everyone. This is me. I'm Cecilia Versatori, and I'm a MNCT, a Microsoft Certified Trainer. I'm also a owner of Magna Data Inc. and a principal data consultant and tech trainer. I focus mainly on building data analytics solutions using Fabric, Power BI, and anything Microsoft, especially. You can follow me and connect with me on LinkedIn. You have the links there, and also on YouTube channel. And Shabnam, tell us about yourself.
Thank you, Cecilia. Hi, everyone. I'm Shabnam Watson. I'm a Microsoft Data Platform MVP and data consultant. I specialize in Microsoft Fabric and Power BI, and I'm super happy to be here with you today. There we go. Okay. Yeah, super happy to be here with you to share some tips and tricks to help you take your exam and go into it with confidence and hopefully pass it.
Yes. Make sure that you follow Shabnam because she also has, I'm not sure if you have a video, but you blogged about taking the exam. So a lot of information there you don't want to miss.
We'll share that in a little bit, yes.
Yeah. And meet your moderators. They are in the chat. We have Javier Villegas, we have Armando Lazerda, and Kevin Arnold. They are there to answer all your questions related to this session. So take advantage of them. They're amazing. And I see people asking about the voucher. So check the link. There is something pinned in the chat for you. And also, we will be sharing shortly how to get the vouchers. So bear with us. And well, this is Fabric Data Days. These are 50 days of live learning, certification preparation, discount vouchers, very important for taking the exams, contests, amazing contests. I've been looking at the contests that people have submitted. How about you, Shabnam? They are amazing.
Not with visualizations though. I think some people are super amazing with the visualizations. I don't think I come close to their level. So no, I'm not competing on that one.
But yeah, I mean, I was so impressed. And
Yes.
we also have community connection. So you can see that you can participate in the chat. Also, you can use any social media and use the hashtag for this event and interact with others. But make sure that you also maybe check your region where there is a user group on Fabric or Power BI or Microsoft Community where you can also connect with others online or on site. So tell us in the chat how you're enjoying all these sessions. They are amazing. So we have for this week, December 3rd, well, this is today. We are preparing for the exam. Then we have also the final for the student database contest. And then we have careers in data. You have the links to the schedule there if you want to check that out. And we also have other things happening around Fabric Data Days that influencers and user group leaders are running. So be sure that you check that schedule there. You will have way more sessions. And this is what some of you were asking for, right? The
The
freebies.
vouchers. Yes.
So here are the codes for you. If you want more information on how to claim your vouchers, go to that link that you see there. You can get either one, I mean, you can ask for only 100% discount voucher. You can use it toward the DP700 or the DP600. And then additionally, you can also claim a 50% discount for the PL300 or the DP900. So there is an answer to some of people asking. We have also user groups that you can join. I saw that there was one from Portland, Greg from Portland. He's running a user group right now. I'm not sure if you heard about something else happening, Shabnam.
No, I wasn't following that, but I just want to point out that there's a deadline for this for these coupons or discount codes. So go ahead and get them. Go ahead and schedule your exams, because it's like a win-win situation. Or you got nothing to lose. It's 100% free. Even if you're not 100% ready, go and take it for practice. You're gonna have a real practice for free. So if you can do it, go ahead and get that test out of the way before the end of the year.
Yeah, absolutely agree because it expires on December 31st. And also, scheduling your exam helps you with some deadline to prepare. So once you schedule, you know that you have to prepare so you don't procrastinate that much.
Yes,
So it's
yes,
a good
it's true.
thing. There you have the link and the QR code to claim this
Mhm.
exam. You have until December 5th, I can see there, and then to take the exam before December 31st. So
It's just 2 more days. So if you're watching this live on December 3rd, you have 2 more days to request your voucher.
yes, and you will receive the voucher within 14 days. So if you claim it recently, I mean, be patient, you will receive it. If it's been 14th day, you can reach out to the
Mhm.
Fabric team and ask what happened. All right, so let's talk about what we are covering today for this session, which is preparing for the exam. We are going to talk about understanding the exam format and scoring. We will be doing a demo. So you can see, you can even access those links, but we will be showing you all of it. Maximizing efficiency on the exam day, acing your case study, leveraging practice questions and assessment, which is very, very important, and preparing to take your certification exam. That's what we are covering today, which is related to this slide right here. So if you're still trying to decide what exam is right for you, you know that this is Fabric, right? A Power BI. So you have the P600, the P700, and then you have the Power BI and the data fundamentals. So if you're
Mhm.
still deciding which one you should take, go to the material that we had. I'm not
Mhm.
sure if there's something coming up. I think all of them already passed, right, Shabnam?
I think, yes, I think we are towards the end of this series, but they were all recorded. They're all available for you to watch.
Yeah, they are on this channel, Microsoft Reactor. So check that out. Not only about the certifications, but also I love the one that you did, Shabnam, with Stephanie about
Which
how to become an analytics engineer, I think it was.
okay, thank
Because it's
you.
not only about the certification. Sometimes you
Mhm.
wonder if the role is for you. So
Yes.
make sure that you check all of it. So live and interactive chat, as we mentioned, we have a live chat happening right now. Make sure that you are subscribed to the channel and moderators are there to help. And you were telling us where we are connecting from. So maybe you can also tell us which exam you're taking next.
Mhm.
Did you schedule the exam? Which one you're planning to take? So let's start by talking about scheduling your exam. Is anyone new to this exam? Drop it in the chat, because here you can see the experience of scheduling your exam. If you never scheduled a Microsoft certification exam before, you have to go to the official website first and select there your language. You have your country there. Go on to schedule. You will submit your information, and then it will take you to a different platform, which is a Pearson View platform, where you can choose if you want to take this online or on site. So there are
Mhm.
like uh, good things about all of those.
One, yeah.
Yeah, preferences there. I honestly prefer on site because I feel that I don't have to worry about my environment, my internet connection, or even the setup here, right? I don't have to worry about anything. Everything is taken care of, but others prefer to do it from the comfort of the zone of the home, right? What do
I
you
took it
prefer?
remote. Yeah, I took it remote. It was a good experience. And sometimes some people are not close to any test centers, so they have to drive a long way to get to one. So that also makes a difference.
Yes, yes. And then it's time to choose your language. This is all the process, right? These are all the steps. Then you have to accept
Mhm.
some agreements there, an NDA, and then you select the testing center if that applies to you, and you
Mhm.
select a date and time. Make sure that when you select the date and time, if you are doing online, maybe select something where you know that maybe your neighbors won't be making any noise, maybe the dog is not barking or the baby is sleepy, so you know your own situation. So make sure that you pick a date and time that work for you. I always did in the past when it was online, 1 a.m. in the morning, for example, because I knew everyone was asleep. What
Oh
do you do,
wow.
Shabnam?
Not 1 a.m.
No.
I don't think I wanted to be super alert, so I think I took it sometime in the morning, before lunchtime. But as Cecilia said, make sure you leave enough buffer before and after the exam, because sometimes the exam does not exactly start at the time that you're scheduled. There could be like a 15 minutes delay. So don't schedule like an important meeting right afterwards, because you may be delayed a little bit and then you're going to be stressed out. So give yourself a lot of buffer afterwards too.
Yeah, especially when you do it online, right? You have to
Mhm.
prepare your
Yes.
environment, you have to take pictures, you have to show the proctor because there will always be someone watching you. So you have to
Yeah.
show your environment. Maybe they tell you, oh, you have to remove this or you have to close the door. Some people even took it in the bathroom. I hear of
Well,
because they will.
I use it as a motivation to clean my room. So I
There you go.
thoroughly clean my room. Uh, so I removed most things and it was very refreshing.
That's great. And after that, after you select the appointment, that's the when you will have to enter your voucher code. All right. So when
Mhm.
you're checking out, you have to enter the voucher. You don't pay in this case, you just confirm, and then you will receive a verification email, check out that everything is correct, especially your name, because it has to match your ID. Then add it to your calendar so you don't forget, and you keep studying and go to your appointment. Very important that you take your ID to your appointment, and be aware that some testing centers require for a secondary ID. So I was asked for a secondary ID once and
Mhm.
only once, but just make sure that you maybe ask for that.
And if you're taking it remote, you will take a picture of your ID with the software. They send you a link, and then with that link, you will take a picture of it, and you have to upload that. And also, you have to when you're checking in, you take your cell phone and you take pictures from the four corners of your room so that they can see that you're in a clean environment. And then you're going to be on the camera if you're taking a remote, and depending on the moderator and I guess what they see when you take the pictures, they may ask you to show them around more or not, and you go from there. And then so you will not see the moderator. You can talk, they will talk to you if they need to, but you will not see them, they will see you. and they might tell you to adjust your camera so that they can see your work surface, your desktop.
Yeah, maybe show me under the table. Show me your right. I mean, those are all things that they can ask you. I mean, you are monitored all the time, so it has the
Um,
advantages for yeah.
yeah. So I didn't want. I had heard stories like that. So I did not want to be stressed out about any of that stuff going into the exam. So that's why I cleaned out my room so that the only thing that was left in the room was my desk, my laptop, and a chair and the mouse, and that's it. And and then my cell phone. And of course, right before you take the exam remotely, you have to push your cell phone out of reach.
Hmm.
So I had cleaned up, so there wasn't anything to show or ask questions about at that point.
Yeah, I see someone in the chat is saying, please mention that co-working spaces are not allowed for online exams
Yeah,
since yeah, you need a private room for sure. I mean, no one
you
can be there.
do.
Yeah,
And
thank you,
there's a lot
Chuck.
more, and we can talk more about it, but I just want to say, like, there's
Yeah.
something like you have to make sure nobody knocks on the door because that will invalidate. There's a lot of rules, but they will tell you about them. So if you read whoever you schedule the exam with, they will give you a lot of information about the rules to follow.
Yeah, and something that I read recently because I clicked on it, you can ask for accessibility, of course, special accommodations, but
Mhm.
accommodations such as if you have a child that you have to take care of. I mean, things that you can manage. So, I mean, if
Mhm.
you have a special situation, I mean, you can always talk to the proctor,
Mhm.
ask in advance for accommodation. So, check. I mean, because there is a lot of things out there. So let's understand the exam format, right? Let's talk a little bit about it and also the scoring for these role-based exams. So what is the exam format? We have 60 questions. I mean, that's an approximate. You may have less or more, depends on, I mean, there is no way to know in advance. You will sit down there and it will say, oh, you have 57 questions.
Mhm.
Then you have questions such as multiple choice. It could be that you have to select only one option or more than one option. They will always tell you. Maybe you have to build a list. They may say, okay, we need to achieve this. This is your list. Maybe put them in order. How do we achieve this? Or the 3 steps from a list of 6 steps, for example. Then we have drag and drops where you maybe you have I don't know, some code and you have to drag what's missing. So you have some options there and you have to drag the the box, right? I don't know how to call it.
Which one was your least favorite type of question? Which one do you not like?
I think these are not case studies because we also have case studies, but we have these sequential questions
Mhm.
where they give you
Mm,
scenario and they ask you like 3 or 4 questions, right?
yeah.
So, and they ask you, does this achieve it? And sometimes it's like, I'm not sure because yes, but no.
Yeah.
I enter this mode of ambiguity. Yes, but this, and you're not saying it. So, should I say? So, that's my least favorite question because I start
Got
overthinking the question and maybe I answer no. And then I reach the last one. I say, oh man, maybe it was the first one, and I said no to everyone because I was waiting for the perfect answer. That's my.
Yeah,
What's
I
about
think
you?
that was the same for me. I think you're referring to the same type of question. I think I can show an example of it later if you get a chance to look at the sandbox. But yes, those are the ones I don't like at all.
Yeah, because you overthink, right? You say, okay,
Yeah.
they're
But
asking me how to get this, so I know that we need 2 things, and they only mention one of them, and it's like, does this solve the problem or whatever? And it's like, yes and no. So that's
you
why.
gotta go. You gotta go with your gut at the end of it, with the gut feeling, and don't second guess.
Yeah. So Shabnam is going to show you how these questions look like in about a few minutes. Um, you can also experience those questions by yourself. Then we have 100 minutes. to take the
Mhm.
exam. They will tell you in advance. You always sit down and they tell you when the exam starts, because at the beginning you will have some questions, maybe about your background. Maybe I think they also make you accept again the terms and conditions and the
Mhm.
non-disclosure.
Yes.
So yeah, you have all that. That's not part of the 100 minutes. When the
Mhm.
exam starts, they will let you know. So now click start. So the counter starts. You cannot stop that counter, no reasons, unless, like it happened to me not long ago, when the cloud went down and the
Mhm.
system went down. But
Um,
that's something very, I mean, unique situations. Don't freak out. If the proctor is there, I mean, they will help you. If you're at the testing center, just raise your hand and they will help you, and they will stop the timer. It's not that you're losing time. So if it's something on theirs, on the back end, don't worry. But
that
on your side, you cannot. Yes, Shabba, I'm sorry.
Sorry. So that's a nice thing about, I guess, going in person, is that there is an actual person you can see, raise your hand and ask for help. So if you think you're going to need help, that might be the better choice to go in person. When you're taking it virtually, remotely, there is a proctor and they can hear you and you can communicate with them, but you're not seeing them yourself in person. So it's a bit more stressful. But when you're taking it remotely, they allow you for bathroom breaks. So you can request through the software. Basically, you just say you need to take a break and you're allowed to leave your room. So at that point, you're outside of the view of the camera. But if you do that, so the timer does stop at that point. But at that point, all of your answers to the questions up to that point are locked in. So you can no longer go back and review and change any of those answers, because they think maybe you walk out the door and you're going to ask your friend or coworker about one of the questions. So um, but the option is there if you need to take a quick bathroom break, and also, again, count that time into your overall time that you're scheduling for the exam. Not the 100 minutes, but like whatever time you've taken away from your daily life and work to
Mm,
take the exam. Count for a break.
yes, agree. Okay, so we covered the 100 minutes. Then the location choice, we talked about this, testing center or virtual. Those are your two options. So uh, choose wise. I see that someone was asking if you can change the date. Yes, you can reschedule, I believe, up to 24 hours, right?
That was the case for me as well. Yes. They again, in the email, once you register, they will give you all the rules of what they are for the center that you're taking the exam for.
Correct.
Um,
So how the exams are scored? Maybe you have heard about this. You have to obtain at least 700. So it ranges from 0 to 1000. And some question worth more than 1 point. The important thing is that if you answer something that is not correct, it doesn't subtract to the total. But this is not 70%. So don't try to calculate maybe, because we tend to do this, right? So I I responded, I don't know, maybe 40 questions that I believe they are correct. So you try to do the math if they were, I mean,
mhm.
you don't know how much, how
There's a
many points.
weight, right? There's weights to questions, and that part is not public knowledge. So generally, I think it's evenly distributed, but it's not entirely public.
Yes. And you get the result right away. You just click finished. And that's, I
Yeah.
think before the result, I think they ask you for feedback, and you're so anxious sometimes that you just skip, right? I want to know how I did. But
Yeah,
yeah,
if you find a question that you think is perhaps very confusing, or you think it's one of those it depends, you don't agree with the answers, it's not a bad idea to give feedback to Microsoft, because every few months they do change the questions, and then they take these kind of feedback into consideration to make the exam better.
I agree. 100%. And yeah, I did that. For example, I did not leave review for all of them, but if I remember one, I think, yeah, you can even mark it, right?
You can
For
mark them,
feedback.
yes.
Yes. So you will
Yes.
remember. So you mark it for feedback, and then you tell them, hey, I don't think this, whatever the situation is, right? Maybe it's confusing, or maybe I don't agree with the content. Whatever it is, you can give them feedback, and they are always listening. So it doesn't fall, it doesn't go into a void. It's a good thing to give
Mhm,
feedback.
mhm.
So, okay. Cut score, determining the uh, cut score determined during exam development. I was too small. So yeah, it is based on the skills of the audience, and
Yes.
yes, there is a difficulty of item poll, right, Shabnam?
Yeah, I think what that's saying is that basically they review these exams every few months, and they make some adjustments to it. So again, the feedback that you give is important for the exam.
Yes, and they are updated when the exam is updated. Shabnam is going
Yes.
to show you that live, but always check when the exam is going to be updated. Make sure that you go to the official page for that. And how do we maximize efficiency on the exam day? This is very, very important. Of course, there is not only one technique,
Mhm.
but try to answer every question. Don't leave anything unanswered, even if it's something that you don't really know. Uh, just go with your gut. What feels right? Answer something, because, as we mentioned before, they do not subtract points from your total. And who knows? Maybe you get it right.
Yeah, just go with B. Just put option B.
There you go. That's a strategy. Always B, always C, or
B.
which,
Yeah.
right? Or you
Do
can
some
always,
elimination. Yeah, if you cannot, you eliminate whatever you can, then you know have enough. But if you can't, if you cannot eliminate, just go with like pick one letter and always go with that letter. So you don't have to spend time on that one either.
yeah. But yeah, make sure that you select something. And if you want to go back, you can mark it for review. So maybe you want to have more time with it. Uh, we have 100 minutes, right? So we have about
Mhm.
60 questions. Don't go
Mhm.
over 1 minute, maybe, per question, right? Try to, at least, right? So maybe you will
Ooh,
have questions that will take more. So the faster that you can answer the shortest one, it will give you more time for maybe for the case study, right? So you have
yeah,
100 minutes. Yes, you have to
you
plan.
definitely have to do some time management. So pay attention to it. I think the lesson is don't linger too much on one question. So if you haven't been able to answer it in a few minutes, maybe just go to the next one.
Yeah. The first time that I took an exam with Microsoft, I think that's why I did not pass it, because I
Uh,
was thinking through all the questions, right? I was like, oh, and then when I looked at at the clock, I had like over 50% of exam left and only 15 minutes left. It's like, oh my goodness. So I had to rush over the next question. So that was the lesson.
yeah,
That's why you
that,
want to schedule and go to the exam for the first time. So you experience all those things.
yes. Um, so 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 the thing is when you're learning, when you're taking these certifications, hopefully when you're studying for them and you're taking the exam, the purpose is for you to learn the topic, right? It's a great motivation, and then also it's gonna be really good on your resume and at work. But the goal is for you to actually learn the concepts, not to just pass the test. But at the same time, when you're taking the test, when you're on that day, your goal is to, at that point, your goal switches. At that point, you've done all your learning. So now you really want to pass the test. And at that point, you should pay attention to the passing score is 700 out of 1,000. So you don't have to get all of the questions right. So you have to plan your time strategically, just like Cecilia said.
Yeah, that's correct. And if maybe you are super experienced with analytics and maybe even Fabric, and you say, oh, I already know everything, I will go to the test. Maybe you pass, right? But sometimes you don't pass, even if you're an expert, because
Yeah.
maybe there were areas that you did not focus on. And you know, on the test, you have to read everything.
It's a
Of
broad
course,
exam. They both are. All I think DP 600 and 700 are fairly broad exams, so there's a
yes.
lot of material you need to know. And yes, I think a lot of people that I talk to, what keeps them from going and scheduling and taking the exam is the fear of failing. What if I fail? Especially if you're considered an expert, like in front of your coworkers and other people are like, oh my gosh, I failed, like I should be an expert. But don't think about it that way, especially right now with the free vouchers. It's almost like it should be no pressure. Just go and take it. If you fail, you fail. And the point of the exam is for you to pass. There's no difference whether you pass with a score of 750 or with a score of 1,000. It does not make a difference at that point.
Yeah, and that's private. If you want to share, of course, you will get the points, but if you don't share them, no one find out. The people only see your badge, you're
Yeah,
certified,
I'm
and that's
sure
it.
yeah, I'm sure people who get 1,000 or they get like 900 something, 999 will be bragging about it.
Yes, of course, if
I
you
did
want to
not
share.
get that high score. I did not get that score. So
Even if you fail, no one will find out. So don't feel pressure on that,
yes,
in that case. And I see someone is asking if you can, if you have a second chance. I mean, you have as many chances as you want. I think there is a limit on days between the exams, maybe, but you can. There is the question
with
in
the
the
I
screen.
think yeah, with the free vouchers, I don't think there's a second. With the
No,
100% free discount code, there's not a second chance for it. Of
exactly,
course,
not for free.
yeah, of course, every few months they have been opportunities for free vouchers. They've been coming up, or discounted vouchers. But if you pay the full price yourself, or like if your company is paying for the certification exam for you, there's an option of adding an additional one for like half price. And I think that's something or for free, so you can take advantage of that one at a time. But that's for if you're paying for the first one.
Yes, yes. So yeah, I mean, the voucher that is free only once. You
Yes,
have to wait until the next fabric data days.
until the next promotion. Yes.
There you go. Okay, and then we have Microsoft Learn. Shabnam is going to show you how this works, but you can use Microsoft Learn. So if you need some support for your answers, you can open it. You have to be smart on how you search, the keywords that you use, and time management again, because we can get lost on searching, searching. So be
You
wise about
yeah.
your time.
You can't depend on it 100%, but it's good for augmenting certain things. At least you can get some help from it. So it helped me. Microsoft Learn. The exams are open book, DP 600 and 700, and also the other two are open book. So that means you can go to Microsoft Learn and search for anything as long as it does not leave Microsoft Learn. But of course, it takes time, so you need to know how to navigate.
Yes, that's why we are going to show you today. And
Yeah,
then we go back to preparing your space. We already covered this. Make sure that you don't forget your ID, and don't read the question out loud because you cannot speak. Don't cover your mouth or things like that. So I mean, they will tell you something, right? But don't reach the
okay,
point.
please don't read out loud. They say it.
Yeah, don't reach the point where they will stop your exam. That's the thing, right? I mean,
Mm.
so show yeah.
For the monitor, I would say if you have a PC and you have a big monitor, then you just have to have one monitor. If you have a laptop, you can configure your laptop so that you close the lid, but the laptop stays on, and that way you can still hook up an external monitor to it. So this is if you're taking it remotely. They give you in the registration email that you get, they will give you a hardware check software that you can run, and that hardware check software will tell you that, oh, you have an external monitor, extra one, or you have this program, you have to turn this off, turn this off. So definitely run the hardware check before, a couple of days before, and before on the same day, just to make sure there hasn't been any changes to your system, like it complains about VPNs and things like that.
Yes. And no interruptions, correct?
Yes. Yes. Some people put, people who take at home or remote office, what they do is that they put a note on their door and they just, draw a sad face, angry face, and just say, do not knock, or no knocking, or exam in progress. Something that people don't know, that don't knock on your door, try to open the door, because that will invalidate your test, unfortunately.
Yes, yes. You don't want to reach that point. I see people asking if you can open a Microsoft Learn and look for clues. Microsoft Learn
Yeah,
is included on the
it is.
platform. It's not that you open your own browser and
Yeah.
you open Microsoft Learn. No, the same platform that you use for taking the exam will have a Microsoft Learn button there, and you're able to access it. But Shabnam, why don't you show us?
Yeah, so let's Anna, let's go to my screen and then I can show a couple of things. So the way it works is that your exam will open on the left-hand side of your screen, and then on the right-hand side of the screen you have a browser that is on Microsoft Learn. So you can open up. I don't exactly remember if it's already on Microsoft Learn or if you can type. But either way, you can open up learn.microsoft.com, and the look may change. Every few days the look changes. So right beforehand, practice, because the clock keeps ticking. So what you want to do is, before the exam, you want to go to the study guides for either one of these exams. The best ways to get prepared is to search for the study guide. So and of course this, as of a couple of days ago for me, has turned into the AI search. Before it was a little bit different. So I would just say DP 700 study guide, and it will bring up the study guide. Well, okay. Let's try it this way. There we go, DP 700. And then you can find the study guide from here. Let's see. Actually, let me one more time. Study guide, because I really like the study guide site. There we go. So this gives you the study guides for all of the Microsoft exams. So let's jump to the study guide for DP 600. This page has information. Everything you need to know to prepare for the exam is right here on this page. Okay, so we're going to come back to this top section in just a minute. But if I scroll down, you see that the study guide tells you exactly who the exam is for. First of all, is this something that you want to take? Does it relate to your career, something you want to do? What's included in it at the high level, so that you can plan where you're going to spend your time studying. And then there's a further breakdown of these categories for each one. So, and then at the bottom, there's extra resources to where to go learn more about these topics. There is learn modules that you can take to prepare for it, and this is where you would get to those learn modules. So do not attempt to take the exam until you have gone through the learn modules and you are getting really good results from the practices that are at the end of each learn module. There are some questions at the end of each learn module. If you're not able to answer them, you are not ready to go take the exam. Those questions that you get at the end of the learn modules, they're really good for you getting started, but they are the easiest type of question you're going to get in the exam. So don't be fooled by how easy they may look to you. So this is something you definitely need to study for. Okay, so going back up at the top of the page, there is a link to an exam sandbox, and there's also a link for a practice test. So both of these things are things that you should do, especially if you have not taken tests with Microsoft for a long time. So let me show you the certification, the Sandbox, okay? So the Sandbox kind of shows you a simulation of what the exam environment is like. So I have to go back, and of course, I didn't like it. So here we go again. And it shows you the types of questions. So what you see here, you see there's a sample timer going on. This is very close to what you get on the day of the exam. So there is some stuff we have to agree to. Again, this is a sample exam. It shows you what the duration, how many questions there are, if there is a case study or not, and if there's a lab or not. The DP 600 and 700 do not have labs. Okay, so there's the rules of behavior. You have to do something similar during the exam, and then you say start exam, and here it is, the time is ticking. So the only thing that's not here, but it's in the actual exam environment, is that on the right-hand side, you're going to have access to Microsoft Learn. And what I recommend you do is to open up you can open up more than one tabs, by the way, and navigate to maybe a DAX syntax page, a SQL syntax page, a KQL syntax page, PySpark, and be ready to look them up, because looking up stuff takes time. All right, so this Sandbox goes through all types of questions that you can get in these kinds of exams. So for example, this is a single question, and then you can review for later, or you can say, this is something I want to leave feedback for. And then this one, for example, is pick 2. So you need to pick 2. By the way, I don't like this one either, because it kind of decreases your chances of getting it right if you have no idea. So you have to pick 2. And then there's questions like this, like drag and drop. So you have to drag and drop. Well, let's see. And then this one is another one where it says, okay, so not only you have to drag and drop, but also the order matters. So like you're trying to make a sandwich. So what do? You put the bread in there, maybe you add mayo, ketchup, and ham. Although that's not a very good ham sandwich.
And I don't know about you, Shabnam, but I find that specific question, that's when you want to test everything in the platform and make sure that you have experience with it, because it may seem easy to sort things, but there are certain steps that you may not remember exactly the order. Oh, should I go there first and then I check on this? So if you did it, actually, you most likely remember all the steps. So.
Right. And by the way, sometimes Microsoft Learn has screenshots of the product. So for example, Power BI Desktop or Power Query, there are some screenshots in there that if you need a quick reminder, especially in these things where you have to pick the order, you can take a look there, and it's open book. So definitely use that. All right. And this type of question I did not see in the exam. This one, actually, the interface is live, so you can actually interact with this at the bottom. You can do like a drop down and pick. So I don't remember this one. Do you remember a question like this?
No.
Where this thing, I did not see that one. But
not for these exams.
Yeah, so there's anyway, so just go through the Sandbox and familiarize yourself with all of them. I just want to get to the one that we were talking about before. Oh, okay, so this is one. So there are questions where there's an exhibit, so you have to go to the second tab to read, and you come back to the first tab to answer your question. And this is the one that I don't like at all, because not only have multiple tabs to read, but then there's a yes no question, and there's 2 separate questions. It says yes, and then the second one, yes no. So when this comes up, just know that these questions are scored independent of each other, so you don't have to get both of them right to get the whole points. Each one has its own score, which makes it less nerve-wracking. Okay, so this is the exam Sandbox, and the other one that I wanted to show you is the practice assessment that, again, you can click on the study guide. There's a link to it. So after you've gone through all the learn modules and you're ready, before you take the exam, we highly recommend that you take the practice test. There's no cost to it. And the nice thing about the practice test is that as you go, you can check your answers, and it will give you links to material to study. So do we want to take on this one? This is the hard one. So which two actions should you perform? So I'm just going to randomly pick two just for the sake of time, and then you can say check answer, and it gives you the everything you need to know. So
Yeah, it
yeah,
explains you the why and then the links to find more information. And also you can
definitely.
track your progress, right? I mean, you have like 50 questions, I believe. So you answer all of them and then it says, I don't know, 70% the first time. So you can
Yeah,
take this as much as you want. Over
yeah.
80%, maybe you are ready to take the exam. But this is not like you will have questions like this because, of course, you saw that we have drag and drops and maybe more complex
Mhm.
scenarios, but it will train you to learn the topics that they want you to learn. So if
Yeah,
something is here in this assessment, make sure that you learn about it. I mean, learn most of the topics at least if you can.
yeah. I totally agree. I would say do not take the exam unless if you're taking a free exam. But if it's the exam that you're hoping to pass, then do not take that exam until you are scoring you're scoring closer to 100% for me, because the exams are not impossible. They're not super difficult. You just have to prepare for them. You can't wing them, so you have to study for them.
Correct. And I see in the chat people are asking if there is a limit. No, you can take this as much as you want, and you can
Mhm.
find it in the study guide that Shabnan show you, or you can just write in the search in the browser, write Microsoft certification DP 600, for
Or
example,
700. Yeah.
exam, and it will land you on the official website. You will find the link there.
Yes. So what else, Cecilia, what else should we show?
I'm thinking I showed most of the most important parts. You showed the study guide that Shadman showed has everything and anything related to the exam. So everything
Mhm.
is packed there. Um, Check that when the exam is updated because it's also said there. They will tell you when it will be updated and if there will be minor changes or not. So maybe that's
Yeah,
something that you want to keep into account when you schedule the exam.
that's
Uh,
right.
mhm.
The exams get updated every few months, so you definitely, even if you've taken the exam before, you want to come back and check the skills that are covered in the exam. Some things
Yes.
have shifted. Yes. Um, okay, so I think there was one last thing I just wanted to mention was that when I was studying for the exam, I had to spread my learning over several months. So if you're learning over several months, you may forget things. So you may want to keep track of what you're doing, take notes, and then come back and review them, do a refresher like the day of the exam. So what I did for myself was I actually created a tracker for myself. I started with Excel. So basically, I took everything from the study guide and I put in an Excel file. And as I was going, I was marking it as studied, not studied, and I was giving it weights to see, because I wanted to make sure I was covering all the areas. And then, of course, I turned that into a Power BI report to motivate myself, because it was cool. Because it takes a long time to get prepared, so I use this to motivate myself. So if you want, all of these are on my GitHub, available on my GitHub. So if you go to my blog, there's a link to it in my GitHub. You can download it and you can adjust it for yourself. So
Yeah.
um,
I Shabnam, I think you like a little bit of Power BI, right?
yeah, I needed a reason to create a Power BI report. Yes.
All right.
All right. So I
So
think we can go back to
yeah,
the slides, right?
Yeah, Anna, please, if we can go back to my slide deck. Thank you so much. So yeah, leveraging practice questions and assessments. That's what we just covered. Acing the case study. Any suggestions about this? Or at least heads up that Microsoft
Yeah,
will tell you when the case study is coming, and you cannot go back to the case study. So once you answer the questions in there, you cannot go back to it. You may have it at the beginning, or you may have it by the end, right?
Yes. So one, actually, I have a really cool tip for the study guide, which I wish I had known when I took it. It came from Stephanie Bruno, and that is to read the questions to the case study first before you read the case study, because the case studies are quite wordy. It's like can be like a few paragraphs or one page, or and especially if you're not a native English speaker, or if you need more time understanding, if you read the questions first, then the case study, it will help you because you will see, oh, that's the answer to that question. That's the answer to that question. So I love that tip there.
Yes. Whatever works for everyone, right? But
Yes.
always looking for the question before scanning the rest of the information is a wise way to go. All right. So let's go to the preparing tips, right? Schedule
Yeah.
your exam. Number one. Shabnam, tell us about it.
Well, I think we talked about most of this. So basically, just schedule your exam, use that as a motivation. And right now, with the free vouchers, you have to take the exam before the end of the year. But if you're scheduling it at other times, especially if you pay for it, then you can keep rescheduling the exam. So you can schedule it for 2 months from now if you're not using it, not with the free vouchers, but schedule it for 2 months from now. But then if you get close to it and you're not 100% ready, you can reschedule it. You can keep rescheduling it. Just read the
Forever.
fine line. Yes, read the fine line. um, uh, and then basically practice in the study guide should be your guidelines, and then also try to get some hands-on, maybe at least do use the trial capacity, get some hands-on practice, because that also really helps to have
Yeah.
some hands-on. Yes.
If you're already on Power BI, you can get a 60 days trial. And so most of the capabilities will be enabled for you to practice.
Yes. Also, the Fabric in a Day training, they have a hands-on lab with them that you will get access to a Fabric environment all day long. So that's also a really good free opportunity if you're trying to get more hands-on practice with Fabric for the exam.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And don't forget to leverage community resources. Maybe join a study group. There are so many things happening in the community. And if you don't find a study group, maybe you want to create your own. And hey, I'm studying for this exam. Anyone wants to join and study together? That could be a way. So, what do we expect on the exam day?
So this is, I guess, this is for when you're taking it remote, right? The in person's a little bit different. So we talked about this. The proctor will verify your identity. It all depends on, I guess, how clean your room is, or how the pictures are, or who the proctor is. I don't know exactly, but just be prepared to show whatever they ask for. Have your ID. You will basically, once you're past that, you're going to see the exam screen is going to come up. You have to go through the non-disclosure, like you can't go and disclose the questions to anybody. Then there's going to be some instructions about the exam. Again, pay attention to them. These are not part of your time, so take your time and go through them. And then take the exam, review the questions. If you have time, make sure you answer. Don't leave any one of them empty. Just go for B if you have no idea. And then you will submit your exam. At the end of it, your time runs out, or you just submit it, and then you will get your results back. So and if you have marked anything for review, at that point you have an opportunity to provide feedback before you actually see your results, which I guess that's a slight downside there, because everybody's anxious to see, unless I
Yes.
guess you're really really mad about a question, and then hopefully you will celebrate, hopefully, and if not,
Yeah.
you will try again.
Yeah. And if you celebrate, maybe use the hashtag DP600 or DP700 and, like share on social media. Everyone will
Let
cheer.
us know. Yes, we would love to know.
Yeah. So, what's next for these fabric data days? I see a lot of going on in the chat. That's amazing. So, as we mentioned before, we still have the student database concepts final and then the careers in data. So, make sure that you check the schedule and don't forget to claim your vouchers before December 5th and take the exam before December 31st. There you have
Yeah.
again another chance, last chance. Also, the is in the chat, is pinned in the chat. So within 14 days, you should receive the voucher. If you don't receive it, contact us and we will help you. So more resources to prepare. And I believe that this is all we
This
have.
is the end of
Thank you
it.
so
So
much.
yeah, I think we have 4 minutes left. If there are
Yes.
any questions that our wonderful moderators were not able to answer, I doubt it. I highly doubt it, because we had a really nice, talented, super talented group of moderators. So we appreciate you there in the chat. But if there's anything that anybody wants to talk about, we have just 3 minutes left.
Yes, I see someone is asking specifically for Brisbane, but if digital ID form is valid, maybe call in advance the testing center. It may be in your country, right?
Yeah, I don't know. I think the when you go to when you're if you're taking it remote, when you register, they will give you all the rules that you need, and there is usually an email you can contact and ask questions.
How long
Um,
after the exam could I learn this core?
Immediately, right?
Immediately, yes.
Yeah. There's always that moment of like, oh, I don't know if I passed or not. And you see it, it's just, yes,
I always laugh because every time that I click on the button, I do. So I imagine the proctor watching me saying,
that's right.
"Do you recommend a book? Any books that you recommend?" Shabnam, you have a book, right? A fabric book.
Um, it's not, it's in early release. It's called Analytics Engineering with Microsoft Fabric and Power BI. And it's not published yet, so it's we are still writing the book, but it's in early release. So if you are on the O'Reilly platform, you can read parts of it, but it's not done. um, as far as the I don't know if I would. There are a lot of really cool books for learning long term, especially if you're doing real projects. For the purpose of getting started for the exams, I think that Microsoft Learn is a really good resource by itself. And then occasionally you may have to go watch a YouTube by some of the people in the community. Beyond that, I don't necessarily know of a book that would cover the exams.
Yeah, one thing that I would like to mention about that, be sure that you cover everything on the Microsoft Learn for the path of the exam, but also go in depth with the links. You will see that they will provide links to learn
Mhm.
more about some topic. So it's not that it is limited to what's in the path. They may ask for more,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
So they present you the topic, but that's not the limit. So make sure that you check maybe the extra documentation, especially for understanding. Sometimes it's not you have to memorize everything because it's a lot, but maybe it makes a good point about something that you're learning and it reinforces what you're already learning.
Yes, I had. There were a couple of topics that were listed at the time in Microsoft Learn in the skills that I could not find a corresponding article for them in Microsoft Learn. Just a few, and then for those I had to search and go outside and check out other resources in the community.
Yes. All right. I think we are on time, right?
We are okay. Awesome. So if
This
there
was
are no
fun.
questions,
I see someone is
okay.
going to wear the fabric socks. That's a good way to pass the exam, maybe. You can
Yeah,
wear your socks, maybe your hat, like Shabnan is wearing the jacket.
I am.
So,
Yeah.
all right. Thank you
All
so
right.
much, everyone. This was super fun. Thank you, Shabnan and Hannah and
Yes.
Anna and the
Best of luck,
moderators.
everyone. Yes. Big shout out to our moderators in the chat, to our wonderful producer
Yes.
Anna. You don't see her, but she's in the background helping us, and to Pam Spire, right?
Yes, yes.
And
Yeah,
Shannon,
and make sure
Shannon
that
Lindsay as well. Yes. So
Shannon, Pam, yes.
they're amazing,
Amazing.
and they put all these series together. All right. Thank you, everyone. Best of luck.
See you soon.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Thank you all for joining, and thanks again to our speakers. This session is a part of a series. To register for future shows and watch past episodes on demand, you can follow the link on the screen or in the chat. We're always looking to improve our sessions and your experience. If you have any feedback for us, we would love to hear what you have to say. You can find that link on the screen or in the chat. And we'll see you at the next one.